As we speak, majority of Muslim guys our age around the world are cowards, they are depressed, they are anxious, most importantly, they're not free. So we're going to discuss why this is, and more importantly, by the end of this video, hopefully you will find a way to not fall into that trap yourself. This is such an important topic for me, man. Honestly, I struggle with this every day. Even with all the knowledge I have, all the books I read, the programming we've been subjected to is so strong that even I struggle with this. Like today, I was struggling with this all day, for example. So you're not alone. Now, first thing we have to discuss is why are Muslims specifically more constricted? They are more pussified than other races. When you go and hang out with the kuffar, when you go and hang out with Asians or whatnot, they're not moral. Like they don't have the understanding of the world that we have because we're Muslims, of course. But they are more free. They get more successful. They get into like better jobs. Everything about like they're just more prestigious. It's hard to explain it. I'm sure you can agree with me. This comes down to a couple of things. We are restricted by our family, by our interpretation of Islam, and by our community. We're going to go through all that. But for you to get to agree with me at the start, just stop lying to yourself. This is going to be a really important part of this video. If you go out to the mosque right now and you see what the guys look like there, you can't deny that a lot of them, they look very, what's the word? They feel very squeezed into their own body. Like they're all like timid, they all look like little penguins. And it honestly feels like they're in a cage. They're being like, they have like a net around them and it's being pulled. They're getting constrained. And even in their physical language, like the belly, like the bad posture, everything, their bodies are just weird. They're formulated like they've been squeezed together. As offensive as this is something that I really thought I had to say because we need to change this. Well, look, if we never address these issues, it's never going to change. I think this is all psychological because the way you think has a direct impact on your posture, on the way you carry yourself, and because of that this is the results you see when you go to the mosque. So, how does our interpretation of Islam cause us to be like this? I'll explain. If I ask you right now, what kind of a life would you want to live if you were completely honest to yourself and your true intentions? The thing is, a lot of Muslims will say some haram BS. They say, I want to be with like 100 women and at a beach drinking martini in a yacht. And this is obviously haram. So you're going to tell me, oh, why did you make me think about that? And I can't live that like that because haram is haram. You're going to have like a little mental breakdown because you're a pussy. Just like everyone else except for me. I'm joking. But this is the reaction that most people have. They start saying a bunch of haram things. The thing is, you need to understand that Islam is directly aligned with how you can live the best life in this dunya and the next. You need to understand this. Following Islam does not mean that you're not going to be fulfilled in this world. If you really think about it right now and you envision the most beautiful halal life possible, we'll try this in a second. That life will actually, if you think deeply about it, will be better than any other life you can think of. That's haram. Like any other life that these like influencers are living, like entertainers living, like all these people, like the halal life is always going to be better. So if you are intelligent enough to understand this, then when I ask you this question again, what kind of a life do you want to authentically live? You're going to automatically think the most beautiful halal life possible. So let's imagine this. What would be the most beautiful halal life for you? Just imagine, right? You live in a huge house, right? Islam doesn't restrict living in a big house. Like, it's a huge house. You got like fences around. You got like, you got cats. You got like You got like parrots in a cage. It's sick. You got like the most beautiful Muslim woman in your town, for example. She's like super religious. You guys have a prayer room, like a huge prayer room, fancy. You and your entire family, imagine like you, your wife, maybe your cousins live with you, maybe your brothers. You all live in this huge house and you got separate sections and you all come together to pray. That's pretty cool. You also all have a section for weightlifting. You got like weightlifting, you got like a wrestling place, you got like a wrestling match. Well, I know you're all thinking I'm getting carried away and I'm losing my mind. Just hear me out. If you keep envisioning this, you're going to start to understand who you authentically are. For example, my vision is always involving other people, other men in my tribe, like my brothers, my cousins, like my uncles, whatnot. If I can live in a huge house with them together and I have like the most beautiful wife and everything's like perfect, that's an ideal life for me. That's community. It's like I created a whole community. And I'll have like a fence around, and all this BS propaganda, feminism and hijabis and simps, it's not going to come close to us. Anything past that area will be regulated by me and what I think is right. And it's going to be aligned with Islam. And then what do you do in your day-to-day life? This is another thing you have to think about. You go out and you wrestle with your boys, like with your kids, with your sons and with your brothers. You all go to wrestling classes and everybody knows each other in there and you're all friends. Just wrestling class, come back, eat a big dinner. Like you can get pretty creative with this. Say you drive like a Lamborghini or something. That's sick, bro. That's sick. So you can envision that life. And the beautiful thing about Islam is it doesn't restrict any natural pleasures for a man. Polygyny is a big example. Because a lot of people, when I tell them to envision the best life, they will say, oh, I want to be with like 100 women. Well, you don't really. You kind of just want like 2, 3, or 4 max. So if you live authentically to this, then Islam will be on your side. How amazing is that? You can literally have 4 wives. And that's better than sleeping around with 100 or 1,000 women. Trust me. So that's the first thing. But this is not enough. Just by you envisioning this and understanding the beauty of the halal life, this doesn't stop you from being a little pussy. So we have to dig a little bit deeper. Another thing that's holding you back is your family and your community. Because right now, chances are, you're not living the life that you feel is right. Maybe you're going to uni, maybe you are working like a construction job, doing some BS with your life. And look, I'm not trying to offend you because I'm on the same boat for the most part. But when you live like that, there is something inside you as a man, right? Every single masculine man wants freedom. It wants to be expressed. Like masculinity wants to be expressed onto the world, and it wants to create this life that you will love. And it's freedom. Like masculinity is the desire for freedom in every way. This is why you have so many masculine influences like Andrew Tate, like Hamza. They talk about, becoming free from the matrix, becoming financially free, taking your mind off feminism and liberalism, because those are the things that constrict us as men. It constricts our masculinity. So for us, it's a big problem because our parents and our community restricts our masculinity all the way to the end. And you know this really, really well, don't you? Maybe your family wants you to be an engineer. I like to use that example. And maybe you don't feel like you want to be an engineer. Maybe you don't give a damn about how a house is built, and instead you want to motivate young men into martial arts, you want to turn them into men, or I don't know, you want to, what else? You want to go to cage and fight people. Why do I keep talking about martial arts? Let me come up with a different example. Maybe you want to be one of those Wall Street guys. You sell stocks. You get like a bunch of money. Everybody loves you. The entire company loves you. Like you can't get fired. Maybe that's the life you want. And the thing with the Muslim world, the Muslim families and the Muslim community is they don't believe in individual differences. So they think everybody is the same. So with that logic, if your whole family, your father, his father were all engineers, you are expected to be an engineer. It doesn't matter what your unique skill sets are. because this is like they think everybody is the same. So if, for example, tomorrow you're in your community and you start a martial arts gym, chances are most people in your family, in your community will think that's weird. They'll be like, why the hell? It doesn't he come from a family of chemists? Why the hell would he start a martial arts gym? They will think you're retarded. And this is a big problem. You are afraid of that deep down, whether you can admit it or not. Once you remove those constraints, like your family and your community, now we're talking. Now you can start designing the life you want to live. Like, so first we design like the ideal dream. Now we need to design the vehicle that's going to get you there. So what kind of work do you want to do? The beautiful thing is, when you do the work that feels right for you, that's naturally easy for you, whether it's sales, writing, I don't know, marketing, whatever, it's going to allow you to get here a lot quicker, firstly, and it's going to be a lot more enjoyable, and you're going to have a lot better physique because you're not going to be constrained psychologically. That sounds like a lot of bonuses to me. So let's figure out what your vehicle is. Think about what you are actually good at, right? A lot of the time, these things are prevalent when you are young. For example, when I was young, every time we had a public speaking thing at school in like year 1, year 2, year 3, I loved that. I always dominated it. In front of the class, I would have the cool body language. I would like make everyone laugh. I would just kill it. Every single public speaking thing we ever had. So I knew that my natural environment is like when a lot of people are looking at me and I'm just spitting game. That's exactly what I'm doing right now. So that moment from my youth has led me to where I am now. I do a lot of other things that are related to that sort of field, but this is one of them. You can see that's exactly what I'm doing. It's my purpose. Maybe my parents won't be happy with it. They might be like, oh, well, you should have become an IT guy or something. But no, because I'm a masculine man. I'm above 18 years of age, so I'm allowed to make my own decisions. This is how you need to start thinking. I'm not saying you quit the job that your parents want you to do and you go and play video games all day. That's stupid. What I am saying, you don't have to listen to your parents your whole life. At some point, you need to tell them, this is my true ambitions, and just go do it. You tell them and you go do it. And then eventually, they're actually going to be proud of you at some point. If they're not, doesn't matter because you'll be proud of yourself. The alternative is you live your whole life pleasing them, right? And maybe you'll be fairly happy because they're happy with you. And as a pussy, your entire livelihood is tied to how pleased people are for you. And look, I'm struggling with the same thing, so I totally get you. But at some point, I can guarantee you this. When you are 50 years old and you're looking back at your life and you're still working at this stupid job that your parents told you is good, you're going to become so resentful. You're going to start hating your parents, whether you can control this or not. You might say, oh, it's haram to hate your parents, so I would never do that. Yes, you would, because you just wasted your life listening to them. So be realistic. All right, so choose the vehicle that suits you. That's very, very important. Now, let me see what else I was saying. There's a very, very good quote that I wrote down here that I came out with my genius brain. That's going to allow you to make this choice. Would you rather be would you rather be safe in a cage or would you rather be free in the wild? Because as long as you're listening to what the other people around you are saying, the community, your family, you are safe in a cage because you're following a path that everybody else is following. So even if you don't do that well, it doesn't matter because they're all not doing that well. There's a few people that do well. It's not that big of a deal. So you're going to feel all right. You're not going to feel depressed about it. Whereas if you go out and you pursue what you actually want to do, this is chaos. Anything could happen. This could be good. This could be bad. But as long as you aren't a moron, you're actually going to succeed in a lot better way. So you need to figure out, do you want to take a bit of risk, social risk, and be more potentially extremely successful, like a lion in the wild? Or would you rather be like a little bird in the cage, waiting for whoever to feed your broke ass? And I don't know why I'm sounding like this. I'm feeling weird today. Just give me a break. Anyway, see, what you need to do is you really need to figure out how you can be a good Muslim and contribute to the ummah. Because the problem with what I'm saying right now is you right now are too stupid to make decisions on your own. What it takes is at least a basic understanding of Islam, and then understanding of what you want. Then you put those two together, and then you have exactly what I'm talking about here, which is your purpose. But right now, if you start making your own decisions, you're gonna feel really depressed. You're gonna feel like really like bewildered. Like, what is going on? Because you need some sort of a compass in life. Right now, your compass is your community and your family. So they tell you what to do, and you feel safe as long as you're doing what they're telling you to do. Without that voice, you're just gonna be lost, and that's understandable. At some point, I would say when you're around 2021, Islam needs to become that guiding voice. You need to use Islam to determine what's right and wrong rather than what other people are saying. Because guess what? The community, your parents, they're not actually following Islam. They're just following like what they feel, their insecurities and stuff. So your parents will be really against some things, like you going out, going clubbing, drinking. They might be really against it. Like pork, like, oh my God, pork, oh, it's a big deal. But then they won't care about some other things, right? Like we know this. Sometimes they will just like scam this guy for his car. Like he won't mention this fault, the car breaks down, doesn't respond. They don't really care sometimes. And your parents may not do this, but they might do other things like riba, for example, right? So if you really analyze your situation, you need to figure out who your God is. And for a lot of people right now, their God is their parents. If their parents tell them to do something and it's haram and it doesn't make any sense, they're not making any financial gain, not social, nothing makes sense, but they're still hearing their parents tell them to do that, they're just going to fall for it, even if it's haram, because their parents are their God. That's the top thing in their life. So you need to restructure your life and figure out like who you want to listen to, like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala or your community and your family. Sometimes it comes down to that choice. I'm not saying you need to abandon your family and become like a religious monk. What I'm saying is, at some point, there's actually going to be a conflict. And that's when you start paving your own path. So if this is how you're going, this is what your parents want, this is what you want, at some point, it's going to conflict. Like both Islamically, like your own purpose, financially, everything is going to conflict. And most people will just keep listening to their parents and just go like this. Some chads that are going to watch this video are going to ignore that and still keep going upwards without disrespecting their parents. They're not going to go like against them. You're just going to keep going up like this. And that's where the magic happens. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe to the channel, inshallah, and I'm going to have a lot more videos like this coming out.